Ryanair is not known for its CSR policies or its stakeholder management. In fact, it is known as paying little more than lip service to these concepts. Despite the company's growth over the past few years, the introduction of EU emissions regulations, high staff turnover rates, and its decreasing profits raised the need for the introduction of a comprehensive CSR policy and corporate leadership values. In the following, we are going to analyze the current business model and explain which areas need to be transformed in order to address these problems. Ryanair's no-frills, low-cost approach to air travel is designed to attract a broad range of customers, from price-conscious business travelers to first-time flyers. From as low as 99 pence, passengers are able to travel on short-haul flights across Europe and Morocco. Ticket prices vary according to the booking date and general demand, and travelers benefit from a flexible one-way booking policy. The airline's average ticket price is €40, which is €20 less than the average fare of its British rival EasyJet. Over the past 5 years, traffic volume has risen to over 55 million passengers per year.
Every aspect of Ryanair's business model is designed to be as cost-effective as possible. Its fleet is made up entirely of standard Boeing 737-800s. Spare parts are easy to obtain, and all staff can carry out their tasks on any aircraft of the fleet. The planes themselves have been modified to save costs for cleaning and maintenance, and therefore have no reclining seats, window shades, or seat back pockets. In order to save cabin space and reduce inbound logistics, only pre-packed cold snacks are available. On the ground, the booking and check-in process are now completely virtual, and all check-in facilities have been replaced with baggage drop counters. Ryanair operates a point-to-point service, which means there is no direct connection with other carriers and no need to wait for connecting flights. This has helped the company to reach a high level of punctuality. By operating from small local airports, Ryanair saves on airport charges and minimizes interference with other airlines. Cheaper baskets are given preference over jetways, and by passing on the cost for handling check-in baggage to passengers, a hand luggage-only behavior is encouraged. This in turn increases the efficiency of operations on the ground. In terms of marketing, Ryanair is pushing its special deals through direct marketing, its own website and newspaper advertisements, while strong-worded statements of the CEO Michael Leary are used deliberately to draw future attention to the brand.
Ryanair is notorious for its opposition to CSR-related issues. However, it cannot be overlooked that its fleet operates on the latest fuel-efficient planes to save costs. As a byproduct, its carbon footprint is relatively low in comparison to other airlines. However, in human resources management, the negligence of CSR is more evident. Ryanair rejects trade unions, and instead, internal disputes are settled through employee representation committees, which only meet on a quarterly basis. Despite competitive wages that are slightly above the industry average, the staff turnover rate is high, and the company has started recruiting contract labor from agencies in Baltic states and Poland, as the pool of domestic workers is diminishing. The high turnover rate affects both the quality of service and HR costs. Customer service at Ryanair is defined in terms of low fares and punctuality, rather than customer satisfaction. An internet search for Ryanair yields a long list of internet forums filled with the complaints of customers about unanswered complaints and the quality of service both on the ground and on board. Although Ryanair claims that its average ticket price of €40 has consistently fallen since 2006, the company makes a significant portion of revenue through ancillary charges. These charges have actually risen every year since 2006 and currently amount to over €10 on average. This behavior has led to repeated run-ins with the Office of Fair Trading.
We find Ryanair's business model to be neither unique nor inimitable in the long run. Corporate leadership fails to extend beyond the limits of mere cost-cutting and thereby is affecting both staff motivation and customer service. These aspects and the fact that EU regulation will force all airlines to engage in emissions trading schemes will require the management to introduce the notion of sustainability and CSR into their business model. We believe that transforming the company into Europe's green and socially responsible budget carrier is a necessary step to introduce the notion of sustainability into Ryanair's business model. In the following, we propose a number of changes in human resource management, key resource input and marketing. An overall aim of human resource management at Ryanair should be to increase the level of motivation of their employees. We suggest that training for both pilots and crew will be partially subsidized and then reimbursed over the first 3 years of employment, demonstrating a long-term commitment towards new employees and potential applicants by investing into their future development. In addition, employees should have a choice whether they want to be represented by a union or go through the Employee Representation Committee. Such measures will serve to decrease staff turnover and bring down hiring costs and attract new talent. Since biofuel jet engines will take some time until their technology can be commercialized, we suggest Ryanair focus on developing lighter seats with fillings from recycled materials and change the selection of snacks and drinks available on board to organic and fair trade products, which should go hand in hand with the recycling scheme for all crockery, wrapping and cutlery. The introduction of a voluntary carbon offset scheme for passengers would be a measure that could be introduced in the first phase. Following a model currently used by British Airways, passengers can offset the carbon dioxide emissions generated by their flight during the booking process. In a long-term perspective, we suggest following the example of British Airways in developing facilities that produce biofuel from waste. Such facilities reduce the amount of waste that is sent to landfill as well as the amount of methane that is produced. In order to make this radical transition to a sustainable company credible, the change in attitude needs to be reflected in the marketing as well.
CSR and sustainability in the scope presented in this proposal are unlikely to find their way into Ryanair's business model in the foreseeable future. In the airline industry, press battles are fierce and customers' loyalty is extremely low, which has been exacerbated by the current financial crisis. Introducing measures that drive up costs significantly, like investing in staff training, are likely to be avoided at this point. Furthermore, current strike waves at Lufthansa and British Airways will reinforce the rejection of unions. Facilities producing fuel from waste are expensive and imply a long-term commitment to environmental issues that Ryanair has failed to demonstrate so far. Following our proposal would mean a departure from the current cost-efficient business model which Michael O'Leary, the company's CEO, has put in place. A drastic shift in behavior and his management is not to be expected.
And we'll find some other way of getting money out of you, discretionary, by choice, gambling or something on board, whatever it is, charging you for the toilets, charging you for the oxygen masks, anything at all. But the seats would actually be free. This is my vision. I've been to the mountaintop. I've seen the light. In the future, it will be free. And then BA and Lufthansa, they're all screwed.
So what else are you going to charge us for?
I don't know anything else I can think of that's not nailed down.